In December 1997, I was diagnosed with lung cancer. Back then, I never heard of anyone surviving cancer before. Devastated and shocked, I thought life was over. Now, I don't know whether my predicament was a direct result of something that happened in 97, or it was a timely wake-up call. See, at the time, I was this high-paying, jet-setting banking executive from Asia, and I never set out to become a banker. I stumbled into it when I went to Japan to teach English 6 years before. I landed on the derivative desk of Lehman Brothers. Yes, derivatives. Warren Buffett called them weapons of mass destruction. And you all heard of it. Millions and billions of dollars lost, began with Orange County, and then, of course, the infamous demise of Enron. Well, interest rate swaps, credit derivatives, equity options, I structured them all, and I marketed them. In 1997, though, ironically, derivatives could have saved a day for my client because they used them to hedge currency risk, which was exactly what derivatives are for, hedge risk. And when the Thai baht and rupiah plummeted during the Asian crisis that broke out in July that year, all the transactions in the money with millions of dollars of profit, money they needed to survive the chaos. But I was asked by my employer to leave for vacation, so no one was able to find me to get the money out. It was a ploy. It was a ploy to buy time. It was a ploy to take advantage of this netting clause that banks can collapse all the transaction to one number, meaning that if you owe the bank money in one transaction and the bank owes you money in another transaction, they can lump it all and into one number. It makes sense, right? But allow my bank to go out and buy corporate bonds issued by my clients during the mayhem of this chaotic time. And it was trading at 20 cents on the dollar. So my bank bought them and netted. They netted with not 20 cents, but $1. So wiped out all the profits. The clients got zero. The bank made 400%. Jobs were lost, and companies, many were closed. Now, I know business is there to make money. Nothing wrong with that. But what happened was a demonstration of maximizing profit at all costs, legally, but without the concern of ethics. If there were individual morality, it was swept under the rug. What happened kind of broke me and sent me in deep depression. And it was 4 months later that I received that diagnosis, which, after all, it wasn't cancer. It was a bacteria they found during surgery when they were trying to cut off part of my lungs. So I lucked out, but yet it was still a wake-up call. So I spent the next 4 years numb and paralyzed in my indecision. I mean, this job was supposed to be a temporary means for me to stay in Japan. But I got used to the lifestyle, the money, the prestige. My parents were proud of me. So in other words, I bought into society and family's definition of success. So what were I to do? Leave? I mean, I had a high-paying job, but no one else would seem to be bothered. So I want to stuff that revelation back in the box and pack it up and throw it away so it won't complicate my life. Sufferings of denials. Until 2001, when my father passed. You see, my dad was a proud Chinese businessman. And when he was young, his family lost everything during the war. Maybe that's why wealth and success was so important to him. He died of a brain tumor. But before he passed, he spent time reflecting and regretting that he spent and valued so much time on the external trappings over family. And he became this really loving man, something I've never seen before. And it wasn't because he was trying to fix it or make amends. There was no guilt, no fear. It was as if all the fictitious stories of his self, ego, identity just dropped away, and he finally connected what's really real and important to him. He loved deeply and profoundly and unapologetically, and he was so bold, he didn't care what people said. So much so that my mom went back and dug out the wedding ring she hadn't worn for 3.5 decades and put it on her little pinky. I was there when my dad passed. I witnessed it when his body arched up and essence of soul just ejected out into the arms of the angels. And the body came back down, a lifeless, empty vehicle. But yet all the lifetime stress line on his face just disappeared, leaving this beautiful face of kind, gentle, loving grandfather figure. I was in awe. That was the last image of my dad. My dad passing helped me finally leave banking. I didn't want to live a life of regret. But it took me so long and so hard a decision to do it. I guess I was bought into all the ego and mental construct of what success was about. It wasn't even mine, but yet I held it so tightly. Isn't that what we do? We have pictures, you know, and if it deviates or if we made a wrong choice, it's as if it was life and death. But that's just us torturing ourselves and suffering. Is to distract from what's really real inside. And for my story, what's real was that making money without consideration for other people's well-being was just not okay. But these traps are so subtle because I falling into following teachers and gurus, thinking that I was creating a meaningful spiritual life. But it's the same trap, just different context. So my ultimate learning was, and still relevant today, is that to recognize and honor what is real for me. What's inside. No pictures, no other people's recipes. And the image, that last image of my dad, reminds me, no matter what I do, as long as I reside in loving and compassion, I am doing okay. Thank you.